Are you looking for a resource to discuss all topics air conditioning? Well, you're in the right space. Join the Rawson boys as they discuss the hot topics and the cold hard facts. This is the Air Conditioning Podcast.
G'day guys, and welcome to another episode of the Air Conditioning Podcast, where we discuss all things air conditioning, the hot topics and the cold hard facts. Brad, it's been another cold week.
Yeah.
Cold mornings,
Definitely.
cold nights.
Yeah.
Which is good for business.
Put the extra doona on.
Doona?
Yeah.
Doona.
Or the cover on the doona. Put the air conditioning up.
Yeah, crank the air conditioning. But we've had some cold mornings and it's been frosty.
Definitely.
Yeah, lots of service work, lots of repairs.
Good for business.
Installs. It's all kind of happening at the moment, which is good. Don't like the in-between weather, do we?
No, it's definitely not.
We like the extremes, the sweatiness of
We
summer.
like to be hot or cold.
Yeah, the brass monkeys of winter, as they say.
Right.
So,
We've got a bit of an update.
yeah, we'll do a bit of a COVID-19 update. We have a special guest lined up for today, and he's just waiting in the background there, so we'll introduce him very soon. On the COVID front, 8,586 confirmed cases, Brad.
It's crazy, isn't it?
7,420 recovered, 106 deaths. Globally, we're sitting at 11.6 million cases.
It's nuts.
Can't believe that, can you? And just over 500,000 deaths, which is not good. Victoria, they've had a setback.
Oh yeah.
A resurgence since our last episode.
The second wave.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
How many waves can you have?
100, yeah, more waves in the swim pool.
Good. Yeah. That's right.
127 cases reported in the last 24 hours, which is staggering. And of course, 16 of those cases are relating to the North Melbourne and Flemington public housing towers.
Yeah.
That's they're in complete lockdown.
There's about 10 towers that are. I think there's a 10th tower now that's been in lockdown or going to be in lockdown. Yeah,
it's frightening.
It's crazy.
Really, so you've got to feel for not only the people going through that stuff, but the businesses. Imagine the businesses, the setback they've had. It just started to see some easing of restrictions, meaning that hospitality could get back into the swing of things, and now it's all kind of. Yeah, one step forward and six back, so not great. So we're sorry to hear about that. SA, on the other hand, we're doing things a bit easier.
Yeah.
Stage 3 in the road to recovery. Adelaide Oval can have up to 25,000 people, which is great news. Pubs and clubs are up to 300-person capacity.
Yep.
So that's some positive news to end on there.
It's in America. They had a Broadway star died. 41 he was.
Oh, is this from COVID?
Yeah, from COVID. So that's pretty young.
It is.
It's not only the oldies that can get it; it's definitely the young ones as well.
Yeah. Moral of the story: social distancing, 1.5. Keep the hands clean, Brad.
Yep.
What else is there?
Cough into your elbow.
Cough in your elbow. And if you're feeling a bit
Stay
like
home.
your father, stay the hell home. There we are. That was our community.
On with the show.
On with the show, Brad. All right, so guys, we have a guest on, as I said before. Now, this particular company is a multi-award winning global digital marketing company with offices in Australia, the UK, and Australia Pacific region. They have been around for over 11 years and partnered with countless businesses to create digital marketing solutions to benefit their clients. So with that said, Brad, we'd like to welcome to the show from Reload Media, Alex McCann. How are you, Alex?
Welcome, Alex.
Hey guys, yeah, good, thanks. Very excited to be here.
Thank you. We appreciate you coming on, mate.
Hope we didn't bore you.
No, thanks for the update. Yeah, that's my source of news for the day.
That's right.
That's my COVID update.
That's it. So, mate, you guys are doing some incredible work in the digital marketing space. Can you tell us a bit more about Reload Media and what you guys are all about?
Yeah. So as you mentioned, Reload Media, we're a digital marketing agency based in Brisbane. And we service clients in kind of all areas of digital marketing, whatever kind of solution that they need. We've likely got a team that we can execute that strategy for. So we work mainly in the fields of SEO, for websites, content to go along with the SEO, also in the paid advertising platforms like your Google ads, Facebook ads, that type of thing, as well as kind of digital strategy and digital transformation. So if businesses are looking to transform to a little bit more of a digital first approach, we can also help out with that as well.
So you guys are based in Brizzy?
Yep. Just outside the Brisbane city, right near Suncorp Stadium, which makes it nice for game day, just to get down there on a Friday.
Very cool. And because you obviously have offices around the world, there's no limitation, I suppose, or very few limitations to how far and wide you'll go to service your clients?
Yeah, that's right. So our Brisbane office, we primarily work with Australian and New Zealand clients. But as you mentioned, there's no real boundaries to the clients that we can work with and where they're based, and what they kind of require, whether that's all digital, kind of through emails, messages, and virtual calls, or whether that's face-to-face meetings. We also travel out to see them as well, depending on where they are. And then with those additional offices in Asia Pacific and over in the UK, it means we can take on some of those global clients in different regions around the world, just to service them what suits them best.
Mm-hmm. No boundaries, yeah.
We've found, everyone is really, as a result of the COVID stuff, has been reintroduced, I guess, to face-to-face digital meetings, if you like, through the various platforms, and it's kind of changed the way we do things a lot in business and personally, of course. It's nice to be able to sort of kick back on a Saturday night and do a Zoom meeting or a Google Meet or whatever you want to do with the friends and family. So how has that changed your business, do you think?
Yeah, we have certainly noticed a shift, obviously to the virtual meetings, particularly in our clients' kind of perceptions towards them. I think in the pre kind of COVID period, a lot of clients wanted those face-to-face meetings, particularly coming in and seeing them and organising those. And through the COVID period, having to switch to virtual meetings and kind of forcing everyone to do it that way, it kind of opened our clients' eyes to the benefit of them, and that they can work really well in communicating. So I think as we come out of this period, we'll kind of continue that, and it's really helped us as well stay in more constant communication, rather than waiting to a time when we can see them and get out to a face-to-face meeting. We can quickly jump on a Zoom call or virtual call, something like that, and communicate with them, really quickly and effectively, and kind of work as a team for whatever their digital marketing strategy is.
Yeah, that's good. It's not good for the airlines, though, is it?
No, we've certainly seen a hit to those industries.
They're going to see a big decline. Yeah.
So Alex, marketing is obviously, there's lots of marketing companies around the place, and we see, in our business we get hit continuously with emails, almost to the point of spamming from some, and they don't offer a lot of value. You guys did stand out for us, and probably that approach that you guys had was different from what we've seen in the past. What do you think differentiates you guys from the majority out there?
Yeah, I think Reload differentiates itself really well in the approach that we take to working with our clients. We really see our agency as an extension of any of our clients' businesses. So whether that's with our small to medium-sized clients and working directly with the owners or whoever's involved in that business and kind of being the marketing team, we see ourselves as an internal kind of extension of that team. Mm-hmm. And then for some of our bigger clients, seeing us as part of their marketing department, really getting ingrained in the business, and working with them that way, it helps differentiate us, from the competition, that we do like to come in and be a part of the team, rather than kind of seeing ourselves as an agency that's kind of just working with whatever the business is. So I think that's helped us differentiate quite a lot from the competition, and helped us win some of those awards. And then I think also too, the strategy that we take to achieve our clients' objectives and goals has been really key in separating us from the competition.
And you mentioned the awards, Alex, and there's some quite prestigious awards that you guys have won. Best Digital Services 2019, Australian Service Excellent Awards for the CSIA, Google Partners winner 7 times, and a finalist for Telstra Business Awards a couple of times. What do you think that is, mate? What makes you guys so appealing and winning these awards so frequently?
Yeah, I think it comes back to that approach that we take of being a part of the marketing team, being able to do that and get involved in our clients' businesses on a deeper level. I think it allows us then to drive better outcomes for the client. We're able to work with them more closely, really understand what their true goals are, what are they really trying to achieve, and then we're able to kind of build a digital strategy and put in place the kind of tactics to achieve that outcome. So I think, by ingraining ourselves and getting a part of that business, it helps us achieve those really good results that we're able to build a really strong case around to go after some of these awards and really submit some strong submissions for them.
Mm-hmm. And when, sorry, say something?
Yeah, yeah.
I was going to say, even from our own personal perspective, when it comes to marketing, the first thing you think of is dollars. You think that, it's going to cost a king's ransom to market yourself. Yeah. What would you say to those misconceptions?
Yeah, I think it's a certainly valid concern because there are definitely some tactics and strategies you can do which can cost a lot, and you may not see much return from it. You might not see many inquiries and therefore revenue from that. So it's certainly a valid concern. I think though that with digital marketing in particular, there's a lot of things you can do which are lower cost, and they're really easy to track the results of. They're highly measurable platforms. It's the way that they're designed. So you can kind of start with some of those lower cost, lower barrier to entry as well, kind of strategies, and really measure them really effectively to see what you are getting from that, to see if it's working or not. And then you'll know whether to continue with it and invest more potentially, or whether that's something that you'll leave aside for now and move on to something else.
I think that's probably where the marketing's changed a bit, as far as I can see, is that it's so trackable now. You can really target where you want your marketing dollar to go. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely, compared to some of those more traditional advertising and marketing strategies out there. Particularly with digital marketing, what you can do, they're all based around measuring the data that's coming through for them. So you're really able to see what's coming from where and make a decision from that.
Yeah, and I think when you go back, even not that long ago, you look at, people used to pull out the yellow pages, and we'd have the rep would come in and say, look, this is your ad, and you want to spice it up by putting some colour in it, or you can go a full page ad and 30 grand later. Really, there wasn't a lot of way of tracking that other than asking the client, how did you hear about us? I heard you on Yellow Pages online. So it does make things a lot more trackable.
Yeah, for sure. I think, with some of those older forms of advertising, it was this many people will purchase the Yellow Pages, or, this many people read our newspaper. So this is how many potential customers that you'll get in front of with your ad. And then doing that follow-up survey of how did you hear about us is the only really way to connect those two dots. With the digital platforms that you have now with your website analytics through Google Analytics or any of the other advertising platforms, you can really easily see how many people saw that ad, how many people may have clicked it, and then how many people called your business or submitted an inquiry or contact form to hear more or to get you to come out for a quote. So you can see, exactly how much you spent and what you got from that.
Yeah. And you look at, some of your clients you've worked with, including the likes of Wrangler, Yamaha, Rusty, Flight Centre, there's some big names there. So obviously you go big scale. Do you go smaller as well? For example, a guy working out the back of a van, let's say.
Yeah, we do. So we have clients of all shapes and sizes across Reload and across the 3 offices. We have some of those bigger clients where there's quite a lot of internal team resources that go onto those teams. And then we also service, some of those smaller to medium-sized clients as well. We kind of take the same approach of becoming a part of their team and seeing how we can best support them. So if it was someone operating by themselves out of the back of their van, just seeing how much we can support them kind of as much as possible and take a lot off their plate because they probably don't want to be thinking too much about the digital marketing. We can kind of handle that more for them and they can focus on, running their business themselves.
With the marketing these days, do you really focus in on like local areas or certain genres or that type of thing?
So when we start working with a client, we like to work with them to kind of see what they've done before and what's working for them now. And for those clients that might operate in a really specific location, we can dive right in and really target very specifically that location quite heavily with different marketing activity. And then if they're looking to expand, we can expand with them or target different areas. And that's what's great about having a website or using the different digital marketing platforms is that it's quite easy to reach a lot of people wherever they might be. So it's quite easy to change, I guess, where you're advertising and marketing to.
Mm. And so going back a step, talking about your average person sort of running their own, own small business. If they were to approach you guys, Alex, how would you guys would you do an initial discussion and then sort of look at how would you sort of approach each client?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we have a dedicated digital strategy team. So they're involved, they're responsible for our new clients that inquire with us and kind of want to engage Reload services. And what they'll do is a full kind of initial research process where they work with the client, understand the business, understand their goals, what do they want to achieve, and what can we kind of do to help facilitate achieving those goals and objectives that they have. So that's all with the digital strategy team, and they put that together. And then what they'll do is involve the operations sort of team, if you like, to then come on board and execute that strategy. Whatever it might be across SEO, Google ads, Facebook ads, whatever it is to achieve the goals for that business.
Do you, depending on what industry the client is coming from, do you have sort of a set, not agenda, but that's trying to think of the right way to put it. Do you have set platforms to suit different demographics for different industries, or do you sort of just treat it as a bespoke solution?
Yeah, I think there's certain platforms that lend themselves better to one industry or the other. So if we have some clients who come in and they might operate primarily in the business-to-business space, there's some strategies and some channels and some things we can do which kind of lend themselves better to that kind of platform, as opposed to maybe an online store who's selling products. There's probably some other platforms that might work better for that. But kind of as a overall, kind of blanket digital marketing space, if you like, all of the platforms can be used in conjunction with each other to drive the goals and objectives. So they all can be used to some extent, but there are certainly some platforms that work better than others, particularly like LinkedIn has an advertising platform, and that works really well for connecting business to business, some of our clients. So that one works quite well for that. Google Ads, on the other hand, is a really good one for services, people looking for services and connecting people with those services. So when we have clients like that, Google's a great one for that.
With LinkedIn, do you sort of teach your clients how to actually use LinkedIn properly, or is it more on the advertising side?
So we'll do both. So a client might come to us and say, we'd like to learn the platform rather than actually have you guys take it over. And we can run a training session for that platform, give them some of the best practice tips, teach them how to use it, how to run the campaigns, and hand it back to them. Alternatively, if they would like us to continue managing that and looking after it for them, we can do that as well.
Okay.
That's good. So it's kind of tailored to suit the client as such.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Getting back to the SEO, do you guys work with web designers, or do you actually design the whole website and include the SEO in that?
Yeah, so we work with website developers and designers. We don't handle that ourselves. So we have a range of partner agencies out there, which include, like website design, website development agencies, also creative agencies who do photography and videography for businesses. So we work with those partners and to service our clients. So a lot of clients might come to us and say, we use you guys for our digital marketing, but we're now looking to update our website. Who can you let us know is good for that? We have our partners that we can refer them to, who we've worked with in the past, who we know do a great job.
Yeah, right.
And if we were to just kind of unpack this a bit further there, Alex, so we talked about SEO, search engine optimization. Some people just sort of their eyes glaze over when they hear these acronyms. I don't know what they mean. So for those guys out there and girls who are working day to day, they think, look, I'm just too busy to worry about this stuff. They're working more in the business, not on the business, that scenario. Can you sort of drill down a bit further and tell us a little bit about what SEO is and how it sort of helps you with your organic rankings and things?
So as you mentioned, SEO is search engine optimization. And so essentially what it is making your website as appealing as possible to Google and the other search platforms out there. So making it as high quality as possible so that when someone goes to the Google Ads platform or even Bing Ads as well, and they put in that search for what your service is and what it is you offer, your website shows up as high as possible. So we know that showing up higher in the organic search results, so on that search page, you're more of a chance of getting that person to come through to your website than if you're even on page 2. I think there's some crazy stats out there of 90% of people click one of the first 3 results. So if you're really not competitive within those first couple of listings, particularly on Google, with how many people use Google these days to search for what they need, if your website isn't ranking as high as possible, you're certainly missing out on potential traffic and therefore inquiries, calls, quotes, that type of thing.
And the SEO, we're talking about keywords, key phrases. Can you explain that a bit more?
Yep. So that's the way that the Google the Google system crawls website and then ranks them. And that's how it will show those results in that order. So using high quality keywords and being really relevant to what people are searching for with the keywords on your website is the way that you can rank higher. So that's one strategy there for SEO, is including keywords throughout your website, just within the messaging and ad copy that you use on the site, within the content. Google's kind of scanning that information to find what website is the most relevant result for that user. Another one is links. So having links throughout your website shows to Google that you're a high quality website and you're a website that's worth putting towards the top of the search results. So using keywords and links throughout your site to other websites and other people linking to you are all signals to Google that, yep, you're a great website and you're relevant to what this person is searching for. Let's put them higher in the search results. And then, it just gives you more of that free traffic through to your site.
And it's interesting how, Google are continuously changing their algorithms and the way they scan and look for keywords and phrases and stuff. Years ago, they used to, cram keywords and key phrases onto websites to try and get a better organic ranking. But Google are all over that, aren't they? They've wisened up to that and said, no, you can't do that anymore. We'll drop you out completely if that's the case. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So that one was called keyword stuffing, and it allowed your website to rank higher because you had all the relevant keywords, and Google's system wasn't quite smart enough yet and would say, yep, this website is great. It's got all those keywords that match it. And recently with those algorithm updates and the way that the Google platform has become a lot more intelligent, particularly over the last few years, they can recognize when that's happening on a website, and they'll now penalize you for that. So it's not just about getting the keywords onto the page, but it's about getting them onto the website in a valuable way that people actually want to kind of read about and learn more about.
Yeah, right. If you had a website and you incorporated a shop into that website, how do you actually drive clients to go to that website and potentially buy?
Yep. Yeah. So one of the ways is through that SEO and getting free traffic through people placing organic searches. So if you've got products there that provide a solution to a problem and they're worth purchasing, putting out content and putting information on the website about why people should purchase them. And that could be through the form of a blog. Providing information about the products will mean that your blog starts ranking in results for what people are searching. So then you can get free organic traffic through that way. The other way is, of course, through paid activity, and that might be through platforms like Google Ads or Facebook Ads, and generating traffic through those advertising platforms and driving them through to your website.
Yeah, cool.
Do you, if you were to give any advice to a client in terms of organic search as opposed to a paid ad, what would you tell them?
Yep. I think having a good solid organic base is absolutely key. It's kind of the foundation that other strategies can be built on top of. It's not really any good to send, pay for traffic and send people to a website that isn't working well. It's a bit of a waste of money. So having a good kind of website that works well, has a good user experience, it works well on mobile as well, with how many people are now searching on mobile devices, and that ranks well from an SEO perspective, is always a really good solid foundation to then add the advertising platforms on afterwards. So I would say I would recommend getting a nice usable good performing website as a foundation first.
Yeah. Would you and just going back to the website thing, would you do you guys have a recommendation over your drag and drop type scenarios like your Wix versus your WordPress sites? Any comments around that?
Yeah, no real recommendations on which platform to use, one versus the other. As long as whatever platform you're using, you do set those solid SEO foundations of high quality pages, content on them, including those keywords, linking to other businesses or having some other businesses linked to your page. Just those solid SEO foundations across any of those platforms. You'll set up a nice site which works well in that organic kind of space.
And either way, you guys can, that's one of the services you offer, is to review people's websites and actually look at the SEO and the keywords and the key phrases and things. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So we have an SEO team at Reload, and that's part of their role to look at our clients' websites and say, what needs fixing, what's working well. And they look at it from a very performance perspective. So, looking at that data and those metrics and saying, what pages are working well, what aren't, and what can we do to kind of fix up some of the pages and the website kind of performance in general.
When you're looking at Google, and let's say you put in a search term, air conditioning Adelaide, for example, generally what you'll see at the very top is the paid ads, and then you see the Google map with businesses and their star reviews and what have you, and then you've got the organic rankings underneath that. Where you see the ads at the top, that's to do with the pay-per-click. Is that style of advertising?
Yeah, that's right. So those couple of first results you see come up with the little ad text in front of them, they'll be the Google ads that people are running on those keywords that you've searched. So that's through pay-per-click advertising, which is, as it sounds, the advertiser pays when someone clicks that ad and goes through to their site. And they'd be specifically targeting, those keywords. So in one of their campaigns within their Google Ads accounts, they would be targeting air conditioning Adelaide, and they've shown up highest for that search term.
Mm-hmm. Is it expensive?
No, it's not too expensive. It does vary by industry and the type of keywords that you're targeting. So generally on a pay-per-click kind of ad like that one of air conditioning Adelaide, it would probably be around 50 cents to $1 to kind of drive someone through to your website for that. It all does depend on the competitiveness of that keyword. If a lot of people are advertising on it, it's going to be more expensive to get someone through. You need to pay more because it is an auction. Kind of who's willing to pay the most kind of shows up to an extent. But you can add certain restrictions on how much you're willing to pay, whether that's from a per click basis or a per day basis across your entire account. So you can set those limits to ensure that you don't, spend too much or outside your budget.
Yeah.
Some of those can be pretty expensive too, can't they? They can go up to I've seen between 10 and $15 per click.
Yeah, I have seen ones as well that expensive, and it's when you get into those highly competitive industries on highly competitive keywords, and it can start to ramp up a little bit. And then I think from an advertiser's perspective, we just then need to see, is that click worth it? Is that the traffic that keyword is generating? Are they people who are likely to place an inquiry for the business's services, or is it that wasted kind of spend that we need to exclude?
Yeah.
Expensive click like that, you could have a competitor out there clicking on their ad, running out of business.
Yeah. That's one of the sneaky strategies. If you want to beat your competitors on Google Ads, click on their ads.
I never said it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you didn't hear that from me either.
We wouldn't do that.
No. So let's talk about often when someone is starting out in business or they're running their own self-employed business or a small business as such. Email marketing, we used to do in the past, letter drops, leaflets and what have you. Obviously, email is going to be a more effective way. Do people still do the letter drops?
Yeah, I have seen it a little bit still. Some people who may not have a complete digital presence or confident in the digital platforms like email or the advertising platforms, they still want to do things like letterbox drops or newspaper advertisements. You still do reach potential customers. It's just that measuring of what do the consumers do after receiving that kind of letterbox drop. It's a little bit of an unknown. So that's why, we really like working with these digital platforms, just because it is so much more measurable than those ones.
Texting, is that a good way to do things?
That's becoming more and more popular and integrated into a lot of the email marketing platforms that you can use. So as well as gathering the email address of your customers, you can gather text messages. And it can be a really effective way to reach your customers. It's really engaging. It's really personable. I think that one just comes with the concern of just not being too spammy through it. Because customers will get they will get sick of it quite quickly and they'll unsubscribe. But if done in a kind of nice, relevant way that provides value to them, it's a great strategy to use.
Just explain that, because you can imagine someone sitting there sending out 100 text messages. It's not that case, is it? You're using a platform to do that.
Yeah, that's right. So through the email platforms or some of the text message platforms, you can enter in all of the phone numbers that have subscribed to kind of your services that you have consent to email. You'll set up one email or phone number kind of message, and then you'll just hit send on that one, and it'll send out that message to everyone that's in it, whether that's 5 people or 10,000 people. So just one message and it gets sent out to all of those customers.
And there's always an opt-out for the client to unsubscribe, if you like.
Yeah, that's a big one recently. Providing customers and users that option to always opt out is a big one. There's been a couple of cases, particularly in Europe and the US, where businesses haven't followed those rules and they can be fined quite heavily. And we'll probably see that kind of enforcement become more stronger within Australia, I expect within the next couple of years.
I get every now and then I get one for like some casino or a free spin, whatever the hell it is, and God, it annoys me. You go on there and try and block it. You can't block it. You can't unsubscribe from it. It just drives you nuts.
What sites have you been on?
Not the same ones as you, apparently. Mate, we were almost out of time, but there's so much here I would love to talk to you further about. If we could just quickly touch on the social media side and the various platforms. And the main ones we've got, of course, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. They're probably a big 4, I suppose. Anything work specifically well for this industry that you're aware of?
So I think as a foundation, similar to kind of having that website set from a Google organic perspective, but having a good Facebook page and a good Instagram page that your customers can connect with you with kind of through is always a good foundation for that social media presence. Just a Facebook page that you're updating regularly, jobs that you might have completed, updates on hours if they've changed, services that coming into the cooler months. I know that the repairs kind of take off there a little bit more. So just service updates and things like that through the social platforms are always really positive. And then from there, you can look at some of those paid advertising strategies through the social platforms, which you're able to reach a lot of users quite effectively. And yeah, specifically through them, you can do some campaigns which target people who are kind of looking for your services, interested in them. And so you're able to get your ads in front of people who are, have shown intent to need repairs or are looking for air conditioning services, things like that.
Cool. And if for the person who's just sort of maybe just starting out, or they've been in business for a bit, haven't really touched on the marketing things, but slows down during, the off seasons, if you had to give a top 3 or top 5 best tips, if you like, in terms of where to start and just a must do, what would you say?
Yep. So I think the first one is the Google My Business listing, which ties into that SEO and showing up on Google. So you can build a free profile there for your business. And that's where you're able, that's one of those results that show up on the right-hand side when someone searches your business name. But then if you're adding service locations, areas that you go out to and where your business is located, it will also pull through to Google Maps. And we're seeing a lot more users actually place their search right into Google Maps itself. So it pulls through your Google My Business information through to there. And so they're really easily able to find your services. And that also ties into the Google Home features and voice searches that people are doing more and more now as well. So I definitely say getting your Google My Business listing up to date, some relevant photos, asking people to review you there and getting that nice high rating that goes along with the results there. The second one I would say would be having a solid website, which people are able to go to for more information. It doesn't have to be a huge website with hundreds of pages. It could just be a pretty simple website with a couple pages, a little bit more information, and then just a nice easy way for customers to give you a call or submit an email. And as long as you're able to take those calls and collect those emails, it'll show up nicely in the Google search results. And then you're able to give customers more information about your business and collect the leads quicker and easier. Mm-hmm. And the third one I then would recommend would be some of that Google Ads activity. So people go to the Google Ads platform with intent. They're looking for your services. So kind of the job's halfway done. People are looking, for what you offer. So you can put some Google Ads up there and beat those organic results and beat some of those My Business listings, potentially with some of those cheaper clicks on those highly relevant keywords. And you can show up there, and it's a great way to acquire new customers who might not be aware of you. And that's really important, touching on new customers that might not have heard of you before. Because if you're then able to service them once for a repair, the next time they need a repair, if you follow up with great customer service and you provide everything that they need, rather than going back to Google the next time around they need a service, they can email you again or call you again. So you've acquired that new customer.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's some great advice there, and for anyone who is sort of struggling with their marketing and not sure where to turn, maybe just rewind that episode and have a listen, because there's some really
good tips,
chunks of gold in there for anyone just who's not so familiar with it. But so much more I'd love to talk about, but of course we're out of time. In fact, we've gone over time, but we will move into the next round, Brad.
Next round.
Which is?
Keeping it cool in the hot seat.
All righty. Alrighty, so here we are, keeping it cool in the hot seat, people. So we have got Alex McCann from Reload Media in the hot seat. Alex, are you ready to rock and roll?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, we'll start the clock, Brett. Okay, Alex McCann, NRL or AFL?
NRL.
Your favourite team?
Unfortunately, the Brisbane Broncos right now.
I'm going too well.
Not as bad as the Crows, I bet. Beer, wine, spirits, or all three?
Beer and spirits.
And your favourites?
Bundy rum.
Nice.
Bundy, Queenslander.
Yeah, it's in my blood.
Alex, if you could change your name, what would it be, please?
I don't think I wouldn't change my name.
You're happy? That's good.
Happy with Alex, yeah.
Content. All right. If you were on a desert island with one person, who would that be?
My girlfriend.
Oh. That was a long pause there.
Yeah,
she won't be happy with that.
Yeah, that's right. What's the girlfriend's name?
Ali.
Hello, Ali.
Ali and Alex. Very nice.
He's looking after you.
Match made in heaven, I'd say. Are you a morning person, yes or no?
Yes.
Maybe I should be asking Ali that one.
Yeah, that's right.
If you could be an animal, what would it be?
I would be a killer whale.
Any reasons?
Yeah, I saw them out in the wild in Alaska once, and just awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing creatures, yeah.
Really
if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Fly.
Are you a toilet paper folder or scruncher?
Folder.
Folder. You're a very organised person by the sounds of things. What's the creepiest thing you could say whilst passing a stranger in the street?
I like your smell.
If you were the PM, what's the first thing you would change?
Oh, I don't know.
You have to have a coronavirus test.
Yes. Yeah, I would enforce that.
Enforce that.
Yeah.
That's some stuff.
That's a good one.
And an equally important question, is a hot dog a sandwich, yes or no?
No.
No. Okay. What's your favourite noise?
The wind through the trees.
Oh, cute.
Don't know why I said that. I'm looking at trees, so maybe that's why.
What's the strangest thing you've ever worn?
A morph suit.
Okay.
What's a morph suit?
It's a completely lycra suit from head to toe.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Gotcha.
right.
The least sexiest name you've heard?
Boland.
Like a Boland virus. A favourite feature about yourself?
My height.
You're pretty tall.
Yeah, not massive, 6'2". I think it's
It's good height.
nice.
Yeah, it's good height.
Nice height.
One thing you would change about yourself?
My hair.
Your hair.
Lisa's not great.
But the final question, of course, Alex McCann from Reload Media, is your porn star name.
It is Lulu Marsden.
Lily Marsden.
Very nice. Very nice indeed.
Lulu,
Well,
first dog, Marsden, First Street.
First Street, you
Yeah,
got it. There we go. So
You've been
there
doing
we
some
are.
research.
You survived, mate. You got through it. Well done.
Well done.
So
Thanks for coming on, mate.
we wanted to say a very big thank you for coming on today, Alex. We very appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this with us. And so just for our listeners' sake, and to get in touch with Reload Media and yourself, how do they go about doing that?
So you can find Reload Media at reloadmedia.com.au. And yeah, we've got some resources on the website there for anyone looking for more information, as well as the contact forms to get in touch with us. Otherwise, through LinkedIn at Reload Media would be a good one if you'd like to connect with us there and get in touch.
Perfect.
Good stuff.
We will most definitely put a link in our show notes so people can get in touch from there as well. But again, thank you for coming on, Alex. We really appreciate your time, mate.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it was great to have a chat, and hopefully I provided some useful information to your listeners.
Definitely did.
Well done.
Definitely
Well
did. They might be ringing you tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. We're ready to go.
Why not?
Wicked.
Yeah,
All right.
excellent.
Well, guys, thanks again for stopping by and listening to episode, what are we now?
15.
Starting to get up there now and losing track.
Yeah.
But guys, to get in touch with us, if you want to come on or recommend someone to come on the show, we'd love to hear from you. So just stop by at airconditioningpodcast.com. We are also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram
and LinkedIn
as well. So check us out there. But until the very next episode, Brad Rawson,
take care.
and bye for now.
That's all for this episode of the Air Conditioning Podcast. Be sure to stop by at airconditioningpodcast.com to connect with us, as well as on Facebook and Twitter, and join in the conversation. Until next time, stay tuned, stay positive, and stay cool.